You missed. My name, by the way, is Dante. Yeah, but you can call me Dante the Demon Killer. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Why does Ninja Theory's Dante get so much hate from the Devil May Cry fan community? This is obviously a controversial topic and a controversial character. Many Devil May Cry fans absolutely hated the rebooted Dante, and that may be due to his look, maybe due to his attitude style, maybe it's because he is completely different than the original Dante. But I'm going to explain why I believe that the rebooted Dante is actually better than the original. No, this is not a troll. This is not me just hating on the original, because I am a huge fan of the original as well. I absolutely love those games, and I love the original Dante. But I do believe the rebooted Dante made significant changes for the better, and I'm going to explain why. Obviously, a lot of people are just going to completely disagree with me here, but I'm going to explain why I believe that the changes that Capcom made for Dante was actually better. Now let's start with the beginning of the game. Mission 1. He is a complete dick when you first see him. He does not care about anyone but himself, but at the same time, can you blame him? He's had to fight for himself for most of his life, and there's been no one there for him, so he's just been partying his entire life, killing demons, and not giving a complete shit about anyone other than himself. And he was a dick to Cat as well when they first meet. Again, can you blame him? But at the same time, you cannot blame the player for disliking Dante at first. But then everything changes when we get to Mission 2. Everything changes when Dante meets his twin brother, Virgil.
You're my brother.
Your twin brother. And I've been looking for you for a long time now. Our mother gave these to us. I think she knew that this moment would come, that we would find each other.
And our father, Sparta?
Banished forever. A fate worse than death, they say. He's never coming back.
I want to know more. Where we come from, what happened to us. And above all, I want to know who's responsible for all this.
This is the turning point here, because once he finds out so much more, for the first time since his childhood, he has a reason to care. The plot of the game kicks in Mission 2, and the plot is very simple. Montes has killed his parents, and he's seeking revenge. That is all it is. Very simple plot, but obviously, for a player, you should care about the characters in order to care about the plot. Whether it's games or movies or a TV show, you have to care about the characters. And this is where I'll make the God of War comparison. In the older God of War games, Kratos is simply not a good character. There is no character progression with Kratos. He's angry throughout the entire series, and he only cares about killing gods left and right. That is all he cares about. There's no development with him. He's angry throughout the entire game. Literally the entire game. He never smiles throughout the entire series. There's no progression with his character, so there's not really much to care about in the God of War series up until the 2017 version. There's just not much to care about other than the cool gameplay. The gameplay is great for God of War, but Kratos as a character just is not that interesting at all. And that's what's different about the rebooted Dante. He is not just some angry guy throughout the entire game that just cares about himself. No, this is completely different, because once Virgil reveals everything about his past and about Mundus, Dante starts to change and starts to care for once in his life. And throughout the game, you can clearly see the relationship develop between Dante and Cat and Dante and Virgil. And that made him much more of a relatable character. There is emotion in his character. You understand his motivation, and it actually feels real. And, funny enough, the rebooted Dante actually feels more human than the original. Before you shit on me for saying that, I want to explain why I feel that way. Because now I want to compare the reboot to the original. If you go back and play the original DmC games, there's a lot of things that just do not hold up. Dante is not relatable at all, and he has cheesy one-liners, such as...
Wow, I've never seen a talking mud before. You know, in a dog show, you definitely take first place. Oh, you poor thing. Didn't your mother ever teach you how to use a door?
You summon and kill. Summon and kill. I fail to see the logic here. Senate. The price to pay for power?
Really? People actually like this version better? This? And it may have been cool back in the PS2 days, but it just does not hold up. And also, there is just not much character development in the originals. We all know how Dante is in the original games. He is a charming, cheesy badass that kills a lot of demons. That's really it. There's not much character progression from the start of Devil May Cry 1 to the end of Devil May Cry 1, or from the start of Devil May Cry 2 to the end of Devil May Cry 2, and so on and so on. There's just not much progression, and there's nothing wrong with that, because back in the PS2 days, story was not a big thing in gaming. We didn't have games like Uncharted, or The Last of Us, or Horizon Zero Dawn, or the Batman Arkham franchise. We didn't have these story-driven games. So, back in the day, it was all about gameplay and light story, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's where the reboot excels at. They have a much, much stronger story, and obviously, with a stronger story comes more character development, comes more progression for all the characters, and also more world building. You care about a lot more stuff in the reboot as opposed to the originals, where you kill a bunch of demons and has great gameplay. Dante is an absolute badass in the originals, but there's not much story there. There's not much to grasp onto with the character of Dante, other than he looks really cool, he has great weapons, and he doesn't feel like a real character at all. But with the reboot, at the start of the game, he is completely unlikable, but then he progresses. He actually cares about Cat and Virgil, and his perspective on everything has changed towards the end of the game. At the beginning of the game, he cares about no one but himself, but towards the end, he literally says,
The world is under my protection now.
that is a huge, huge turn for Dante, from saying that he does not give a shit about anyone to saying that the world is under his protection right now. God damn, that is a hero, my folks. That is a hero. And a lot of that feels so natural. The relationships between Dante and Cat, and also Dante and Virgil, feel organic. They do not feel forced. You can actually believe their relationship. You can actually believe the love between Dante and Cat. You can actually understand why Dante now feels this way. He understands that there's so much more to humanity than he expected, than he actually thought at first. And you go on this journey with Dante throughout the game, and is just so much more better and more compelling as a character as opposed to the originals. Now, let's get some of the obvious things out of the way. Yes, he has short black hair. So what? It's a reboot. They wanted to make it different. There's nothing wrong with that. And also, if you want to bitch about the white hair, he has white hair when you finish the game. It may be shorter, but he looks cool. He still looks cool. He is a complete badass. There's nothing wrong with the look of the rebooted Dante. There is nothing wrong with that. They wanted to make a reboot, and obviously by making a reboot you want to change certain things. You can't have the same thing over and over again. And also, nostalgia plays a big factor into a lot of people's heads. A lot of people just hated that they rebooted Devil May Cry in the first place. And once you get past the fact that this is a reboot, once you get past the fact that this is a new story that they want to tell, you can enjoy it a lot more. I also have to address Dante's personality, because that's what a lot of people have problems with. He swears. What's wrong with that? And he's just a little more sarcastic than the original, which, again, there is nothing wrong with that. It feels more realistic. It feels like this Dante can actually exist in our world today, which obviously makes the player connect with Dante a whole lot more than the original. So I don't think his personality is a problem at all. It's different, absolutely, but it works, especially for the time that we are in now. I just believe the amount of hate that this character gets is very, very undeserving, and we may not see this character ever again due to the fact that we are getting back to the original franchise with Devil May Cry 5 coming out, and that may be upsetting for me because I love this character so much, but I just wanted to say to everyone out there that hates this character, I just want to say, give it a chance. Buy the definitive edition on the PS4 or Xbox One and just go through that game again. And once you get past the fact that this is a reboot, I think you're going to enjoy it a lot more. This character is so badass, this character is so compelling, this character is so relatable, much more relatable than the original, and you actually feel a lot of emotion for him, especially throughout the entire game and towards the end. So what are your thoughts on all of this? Obviously, a lot of people will completely disagree with me here, and I actually want to know why. Why do you like the original Dante better? Because I have no problem with discussing this topic over and over again, because it is very interesting. So just let me know in the comment section below, and just subscribe for more Devil May Cry content.
Not in a million years.